Coming up, I'll show you the fastest way to grow a six-figure income. And then major companies are panicking. Should they? Why are they? I'll break it down. And then white-collar layoffs. What could it look like? Let's go. Helping you win at work and in your life. More money, more meaning is the goal. I'm Ken. Welcome. All right, so let's talk about the fastest way to grow a six-figure income. This feels very clickbaity to me, but I feel like we had to address it that way, right? As I just see all over social media, hacks and people sitting in all kinds of weird environments and, you know, kids sitting in their closets and doing really cool cuts with the cameras and all this, telling people, and they have no freaking idea what they're talking about. They may have earned six figures for a very small amount of time, or maybe this happened, or maybe they're on their way or whatever. But all these people with all this advice, and usually the advice is, well, it's based on exactly the way I did it. So there's not one custom path that you have to fit yourself into to make six figures. There's not a hack that's going to allow you to make six figures. There's not a book that's going to teach you how to make six figures. There's not a class that's going to help you make six figures. You will help you make six figures. You. Now, all those things I mentioned, I do some of that stuff, although I don't have a course on how to make six figures. Because anything that I would teach or say, including what I'm going to say today, is almost exclusively dependent on you. So any other message to the contrary is fool's gold. It's clickbait. It's nonsense. It's buffoonery. It's not about your attitude solely. It's not about obsessive work habits. Oh, I'm going to out-hustle everybody else. Get out of my way. You know, all this. This is all romanticized BS that's all over the internet. As if I'm going to be more aggressive, that's hustle, or I'm going to be more obsessive, that's neurotic. That's what it is. But we romanticize this stuff. And here's what I think it does. I think it puffs people up and hypes them up to do things they shouldn't do, to focus on things they shouldn't focus on. That's what I think. It is the equivalent of somebody coming in here right now and going, hey, Ken, Mike Tyson is out in the hallway. You can beat Mike Tyson up. You can take him out. Now, here's one thing you got to do. And it's technique. And if you do it this way, you're going to knock Mike Tyson out, kid. I'm telling you. And if you have this attitude of, no matter what happens, Mike Tyson's not going to beat me. You could do this. And they hype me up, and they puff me up, and they push me out the door, and I get pummeled. And then I sit there in a heap of my own blood and teeth fragments, and I wonder, where did it all go wrong? I'll tell you where it went wrong. Somebody lied to you and hyped you up and told you that you could knock Mike Tyson out. And I could have looked at you and said, no, you can't. You're going to die. There's a high probability that you're going to die. All right. Have I made my point? All right, to the teaching notes. It's not about aggression, obsession, or some hack. It's about winning the now. Wah, wah, wah. See, folks, I got to tell you the truth. I'm not going to sit here and pump you up and work you up to a froth. I'm going to tell you the truth. The fastest way, the best way to making six figures is to win the now. Daily disciplines to win today. Yesterday is over. It's gone. It ain't ever coming back. So whether it was good or bad, it doesn't matter. It's gone. Today is what I have. And I've got to win today. I got to win the now. And if we had more young people, middle-aged people, old people looking at their big picture, whatever that picture is at this stage of their life, and they were to say, all right, in order for me to get there, my desired future, I have to win today. And then when I wake up tomorrow, guess what my mantra is? In order to get where I want to go, I have to win today. Some of you right now are in the middle of a painstaking qualification progress. You know the job you want, but you're not qualified and you're in the middle of getting qualified, or maybe you're in the middle of saving up the money to be qualified. And if you don't bust it in the training or in the odd job or the 2 jobs or the 3 jobs today in order to get the money to get qualified, I've got news for you. You will never make it. 6 figures, meaningful work, all of it will be nothing but a distant mountain that you can never foresee climbing if you don't focus on the day. 1 foot in front of the other. I'm going to show up today and I'm going to win the now. Now, I want to walk through how you can win the now. Because this isn't hacks, this is facts. Number 1, you must be clear on what today's win is. So I have to know my role. I have to know what my responsibilities are today, and I got to crush those. I've got to do that today. I'll be on Fox Business for an entire hour on Thursday in New York City. I'm thrilled out of my mind. They're going to feature me throughout the hour. Going to be small business people in the room. It's going to be great. You know what? I haven't even thought about what I'm going to say. I'll do that on Wednesday night flying up to New York. I'll do it on Thursday morning in the hotel room, getting ready. I'm not thinking about that. You know why? Because I have responsibilities today. By the way, it is that mindset that has gotten me to that point where I can go do that, where Fox Business will call me. I didn't just show up one day and go, I'm available, Fox News. I had to win day in and day out. I had to know my role. What is clearly required of me today? What does a win look like today? Next, I've got to accept that that's where I am. I've got to have an attitude of gratitude to say, hey, this is where I am right now, and I am okay with that, because if I don't win today, there will be no desired future. Then finally, I've got to go above and beyond my responsibilities. I've got to find ways to be more valuable beyond what they're expecting of me. And I'll give you an example of this. I'm a big football fan. All right? I love football. I've been to several NFL training camps behind the scenes. You know what's funny to me, Alex? There's 3 people that are always off by themselves, and yet they're the most invaluable people on the team. Who are these people? The long snapper, the holder, and the kicker. Now, nobody hardly knows their names at all, especially the long snapper and the holder. Everybody knows the kicker's name, but the kicker's either the GOAT or the jerk, right? We either love him or we want to fire him. Arguably, those 3 people are some of the most important people on the team, especially when it's the Super Bowl on the line. You got to kick a field goal or a playoff or a big game. You got to win the game on a long kick. Well, that long snapper better throw a strike between his legs. That holder better catch it, spin it, and that kicker better put it through. They know their role. They accept the role, they maximize the role, and they are integral parts to a championship team. Win today. Tomorrow will take care of itself.
Do you know what you were born to do? In order to get hired at a job you love, you need to get clear on your talent, passion, and mission. That's why our team created the Career Clarity Guide. In just a few minutes, this free tool will walk you through a process to discover what you do best, that's your talent, the work you love to do, that's your passion, and the results that matter to you, your mission. Then you'll feel more confident throughout the job search process. To get started, go to kencoleman.com/clarity.
Of the people, by the people, for the people. I am a man of the people. Love you, good folks. You matter. You have what it takes. Life is too short for you to just live for the weekend. Okay, couple of things I want to get to inform and warn. That's what I'm doing today. Largely I do that every day, to inform you and to warn you. First headline, and this is all about the, let's call it I don't think it's a loud chorus. I would say it's a growing chorus of headlines about layoffs. And this irritates me. My blood pressure is probably going to get a little high here. The headline for Fox Business is layoffs. Companies copy others in almost mindless imitation. Well, this is really true. And I've been saying this on the show. Stanford Graduate School of Business professor Jeffrey Pfeffer noted that companies tend to copy each other in almost mindless imitation he calls social contagion. Dr. Yalda Safai, a psychiatrist based in New York City, told Fox Business that panic, hysteria, and anxiety are contagious. Duh. I'm going to park here for a second because this is really important that you folks understand this, and we have a lot of leaders that are watching. Leaders, listen to me. I'm going to make you uncomfortable, and some of you I'm going to outright piss off, but if you are mature enough to listen to what I'm saying, you'll get some truth out of this, but some of you won't. So I'm going to go ahead and warn some of you. As soon as I say one word, I haven't even told Alex what I'm going to say, but it has to be said to illustrate the point. But as soon as I say it, some of you are going to go, or whatever noise that you choose to make, or whatever name you choose to call me. And here we go. I'll start with the lead in, and then we'll really hack everybody that might be hacked off. We'll hack them off. Number one. This response that this psychiatrist is talking about, this social contagion, okay? This is literally like the old school game that we played in elementary school, Simon Says, all right? Simon says, pat your head. So everybody pats their head. Simon says, rub your belly. So we all rub our belly. And then on the game goes. And what happens is, in the game Simon Says, in this social contagion, Alex, the Amazon laying off 20,000 people, Apple laying off people, Facebook, the list can go on and on and on that we've announced. Big companies are laying people off. And we've talked about this. That's Simon. It's the equivalent of Simon going, pat your head. And so a lot of other companies, they look and they see the headlines too, and these CEOs get scared and they get the pucker factor, if you know what I'm talking about. And then they start to go, if they're laying people off, they're bigger than we are, well, we should lay people off. And so they start going, well, why are they laying people off? And we got to lay people off. And there's the social contagion. Okay? So what's happening in the corporate world with layoffs is the old school Simon Says. But here's the other thing that we see. And we lose sight of any type of logic when we, as leaders, and when companies go, well, they're doing it, we should do it. And let me take you back to the pandemic. And this is where some people are going to get offended. Just listen to what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, I can't help it. All right, let's go back to the middle of the pandemic. And in this part of the country, I can't speak to other parts of it. Let's go to when you'd go to a restaurant, you had to wear a mask until you got to your table. Now, again, I'm not, let me clarify. I'm not banging on wearing a mask. If you feel safe and felt that everybody in the world should wear a mask, I'm not going to disagree with you for a second. All right, here's what I am saying. It made no sense to me that we would walk into a restaurant with a mask on, sitting in the lobby or talking to the hostess, and walking to the table, I got to have a mask on. But when I sit down at the table to eat, I take the mask off. Now, that made no sense to me, and quite frankly, no one can say that that makes any sense. Here's one that happened. I went to the movie theater. Had to have the mask on all the way in. I go up to buy some popcorn, and I say to the young man, just for fun, so do we have to wear the mask in the theater? Yes, unless you're eating popcorn. Oh, fantastic. To which I ate popcorn all the way in and throughout the entire movie, and you get my point. Here's what I'm getting at. Why was that policy instituted during the pandemic? I'll tell you why. Because certain restaurants in New York may have done it that way, or somewhere in the industry, the restaurant industry, it was like, well, here's the deal. Make everybody wear a mask until they get to the table. And what we're doing is we're kind of saying it's a virtue signaling situation. So everybody else is doing it this way, so we're going to do it this way. And no one except the customer stopped to go, that doesn't make any sense. Does the COVID's, it's a polite disease. It doesn't want to interrupt me while I'm eating, but it'll get me in the lobby. Here's my point. Why do we do things like that? What is it? I'm going to tell you what it is. Social contagion. And so it's the same thing with layoffs. There's a mild recession coming. That is the prediction. Mild. Okay, we're even seeing signs of abating inflation. We are seeing good signs. Gas prices are down. That's good. Right? I mean, look, I don't think we're going into a raging recession, but here's the deal. It's in the headlines. And so companies start going, well, I got to lay people off, got to lay people off, got to lay people off. Why? Because everybody else is doing it. Now, they're not going to tell you that, but that's what's going on. Now, to this point, if you are a white-collar worker and you are 100% remote or you are hybrid, I'm telling you, I'm begging you to pay attention and be ready. Have an exit strategy. Why? So here's what happens. I already set the table for you. So you have some big companies doing layoffs, so other companies start going, well, if they're doing layoffs, we got to do layoffs. It's monkey see, monkey do. So here's what happens. Once companies realize they can ship your white-collar job overseas to somebody who can do it for 50, 60, 70% of your cost, do you think they're not going to do that? You're out of your mind if you don't think they're going to do that. They're going to do it. They are going to ship your remote or hybrid job somewhere else at a fraction of the cost. Because once you're at a point where you can do everything remote, then that means someone else can do it. And there's somebody in different continents of the world that'll do your job. You're getting paid $120, they'll do it for $60 with a smile. I'm just telling you. And this is already being predicted by some economists. So I would be paying attention to this. This is where this is going to go. If we move into even a mild recession and companies start tightening the belt, and it's a company that's going, we wanted you back in, and there's a rub there, at some point when companies, just watch. It's going to be the same thing, Alex. It's Domino's. You know what I should have done today? I should have brought in an old box of Domino's and set up a circle and just went tink and then watch them fall. Because let me tell you what's coming. Just as we're seeing a little bit of a trickle of layoffs coming, let me tell you something. First time a major company, you just let it be Apple, and they drop 1,000 white-collar jobs, people working remotely, white-collar jobs, six-figure jobs, and they send them to India. Watch what happens. Everybody else is going to start doing it. And now that's going to reset some things. Now, Alex, thank you very much, guys. Very well done, Andrew. Let me just say this. I hope that this doesn't happen, but I'm telling you, we've got Starbucks workers unionizing. We've got unions growing, the younger people, and it's a fabulous message. Hey, let's band together to beat the man and get the most pay possible. Companies will adjust. And there's somebody out there in this world that can do what you do as well, or if not better than you. And they will ship your job before you can even sniff it. This is the Ken Coleman Show.
Are you wondering if you should leave your current job or stay put? You're not alone. That's why we created the Should I Quit My Job quiz. In just 5 minutes or less, this quiz will help you determine if you're at the right company and if you're in the right role. If you need to make a move, you'll even get practical next steps to keep you moving forward. Listen, stuck is a choice, and life is too short not to do what you were created to do. To take the quiz, go to kencoleman.com/quiz.
All right, helping you get unstuck and become unstoppable. This is the Ken Coleman Show. Thrilled that you're with us. Okay, we have some fun stuff here. We've got the word of the year. That's in my hand here. I'll reveal that in just a few moments. And I have thoughts. Not only is this the word of the year, it's kind of like Time's Person of the Year. Well, this is the word of the year. According to Merriam-Webster, and I guess this is based on how widely it's used and adoption of the word and all kinds of things. So this is fun. And by the way, Alex, I have never used, and this is a true story, I've never used this word in a sentence. I see it. Amanda just peeked out from mine. I'm telling you, I've never used it because when I see it in articles, it just irritates me. So I've got some thoughts on the word of the year. That's coming in just a moment. But first, U.S. worker productivity has tanked this year. U.S. labor productivity plunged in the first quarter in the largest decline since 1947 and then dropped by the highest annual amount on record in the second quarter. This according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The third quarter data indicates year-over-year output saw 3 consecutive declines for the first time since 1982. So this is fascinating. So 3 straight quarters of productivity decline in the United States, first time since 1982. So, of course, people are paying attention to this. And in this article, the author quotes several people as to, why this is happening. I'm going to give you my take on it because I talk to people every day about this. First and foremost is burnout. Secondly is the quiet quitting trend. Let's cover the first one. Burnout is at an all-time high, largely due to the shifting sands or the musical chairs that we now know as the Great Resignation. 4 million plus people every month this year. 4 million plus every month this year have changed jobs. So here's what happens. Okay? You get the Great Resignation going where people are changing jobs at a rapid rate. Then you have 4 million people retired during the pandemic and have not returned to the workforce. That is substantive. 4 million people left retired because they didn't come back. So that left some people trying to catch the plates that were falling off the cupboard, if you catch the old cartoon image. All right? So that left strained workers behind. All right? Now, you got people leaving in droves to change jobs. That leaves an even further strained worker behind because they're having a hard time replacing them. Okay? Now, add to those two factors that many, many cultures are overworking people. These are leaders that are allowing a culture of people being overworked, underappreciated, toxic work environments. It's a cocktail of all cocktails for burnout. And people aren't just sipping it, if you know what I'm saying. Right? This isn't me on my back porch with a fine bourbon or wine and a cigar where I'm sipping. This is a college frat party. We're talking beer bong, right? People are just overworked and they're just, the burnout is just, they're drinking it at alarming rates. That's what we're talking about. Now, that's the first reason why productivity is tanked. The second reason is the phenomenon that wasn't new, but all of a sudden, it became okay. And that's putting in average or if we're being honest, below average effort. It's called quiet quitting. Now, I've said on this show many times, and it's been going on now. This data has been out with Gallup. They do the largest workforce study that's ever been done. They're the gold standard. And for, at least a decade, the number has been about 68 to 70% of American workers aren't engaged. That doesn't mean that they hate their job. It just means what we call quiet quitting now. They're just doing the bare minimum to get by. So some career coach on TikTok called it quiet quitting. Fabulous job. Love the phrase in the sense that it's memorable. And all of a sudden it became a phenomenon. I mean, I was on the phone with a bunch of producers from Fox Business the other day, and they were all talking about how it's the biggest phenomenon in news as it relates to work. So you could say that quiet quitting is the phrase of the year. We're going to get to the word of the year momentarily. The phrase of the year in the workspace is quiet quitting. And it's so here it became an anthem on TikTok for younger workers. And then it got picked up by mainstream media. And I really believe that it became a permission slip. I really do. I think people went, oh, that's me. I don't feel valued. I'm not doing work that I love and all the things. And they thought, well, okay, well, they have a phrase for it. And can I just tell you, it became a badge of honor. I mean, just think about that for a second. Putting in average effort, producing average results became a badge of honor. How is that possible? Well, I don't know. Other than people love to be a part of a tribe. And so all of a sudden there is this big tribe of quiet quitters. And it's literally people going, I'm average and I'm okay with it. It's nonsense. So that's why productivity has surged. Productivity has lessened, or a lack of productivity has surged. Okay? That's why. And leaders, you can do something about it, but you have got to meet people's human needs. And I can't cover that right now. Okay, I got to get to this. Okay. According to Merriam-Webster's word of the year, the winning word is, the word of the year is gaslighting. Gaslighting. Now, I promise you, when I see this, it makes me angry. I think it gets used all over the place. So what is gaslighting? Ramani Durvasula is a psychologist with a doctorate, and he's quoted in this and says, gaslighting is a form of emotional manipulation that's characterized by denying a person's reality, experiences, or perceptions. When someone makes you question what you believe to be true. So now I hear that definition. You know what I think of? Is it gaslighting? Or is somebody disagreeing with me? This is why I get a little like, wait. You say something, I disagree with something, you gaslit me. Ken just gaslit me. Did I? Or did I disagree with you? Well, Dr. Durvasula goes on to say gaslighting isn't someone arguing with you. All right, so that answers my question. I'm not so sure. What we're missing is the emotional abuse that it really represents. Okay, so here are some gaslighting examples according to this expert. You be the judge. Gaslighting is when someone invalidates your feelings. This is the example. You're being dramatic. Or you're so sensitive. Or you're crazy. Another example, why can't you take a joke? Or you're making a big deal out of nothing. That's gaslighting? Okay. Here's another example of gaslighting. It's when you twist reality and make you doubt yourself. They twist your reality. That never happened. It's all in your head. You're imagining things. You have a bad memory. No one else believes you. Okay, that feels like that might be gaslighting. All right. They deflect responsibility. You made me do it. You made me say it. I'm sorry that you think I hurt you. Apparently, this is gaslighting. Me thinks that we work too hard to try to describe things. Uh-oh, did I just gaslight? the article? I don't know. I'm so confused.
If the thought of attending a networking event makes you break out in hives, you're not alone. And I'll let you in on a secret. Networking in the traditional sense doesn't work, but genuine connection is all about relationships. That's why we created Networking the Right Way. This free guide is the low-pressure, high-impact way to overcome the awkwardness, build real relationships, and turn your connections into opportunities. To get the guide, go to kencoleman.com/network.
Of the people, by the people, for the people, I am a man of the people. Ken Coleman here for you. One aim, more money, more meaning. Who doesn't want that? Let's go. Time to coach some people up. 844-747-2577. 844-747-2577. Let's go to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the city of brotherly love, one of my favorite cities in America. Maria is there. Maria, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken. How are you?
I am living the dream, Maria. What are you doing?
I'm actually recouping from COVID, but other than that,
Well, get better soon, okay?
I know. Yeah, it's almost done.
You got it. What's up?
So I spoke with you actually today, 16 months ago.
Wow.
And I was the one that I'm calling you with an update. I wanted to let you know. I was the one that I spoke to. We talked about me wanting to become a personal trainer, but I was afraid of taking this test.
Okay.
And I did take the test, and I passed with a 93.
Nice.
And it doesn't stop there.
Okay, tell me more.
I actually, by taking that exam, I became a fitness coach, but I decided to go for the elite fitness coach.
Wow.
And so I took 2 more certifications. I became a nutritionist and a group fitness instructor, and I'm now an elite fitness instructor, and it's all thanks to you.
No, that's all about you. All about you. So I want people to hear. So you call me, and forgive me, that was 16 months ago. I can't remember what I said 16 minutes ago. What did we come up with here? What was the challenge? And then more importantly, what did you do?
Well, it's funny because after I spoke with you, I was supposed to sign up, but I was 4 days crying of fear. This fear took over me, and then one day I was like, you know what? That's it. This is it. I'm done. I got to do this. It's now or never. And I kept remembering what you said to me. That was just study hard and take the test. It doesn't matter what the grade is. Just take the test and pass. What do you need? A 65? Get a 65 and pass. And that's what I did.
Sounds like my entire academic career. I was not a person that got many 93s. You know what I'm saying? My head was in the clouds. Well, that's great.
I know. And I actually have one other thing.
Okay.
I am now studying. Actually, it's not studying. It's reviewing everything that I've done to take the NCCPT exam for both group instructor and personal trainer. And that's going to up the status of my certification, per se.
How much more money are you making as a result of all of these wonderful test scores?
None right now.
Because you're still in the qualification process.
Yes.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
Right now I'm waiting for the certifications to come in the mail. And as soon as I feel better next week, I want to update my resume, actually completely change it, because before I was in the administrative part, but it's totally different now. It's fitness for me. So, actually, I wanted to ask you, do you offer help with updating resume?
Yes, I've got a free guide. I'll make sure Amanda gets it to you in just a moment. It's called the Resume Guide. Very creative, I know. It's at kencoleman.com, and it's got a template for you. We also have I think 6 other really awesome templates for $10 on the website, and I'll get you those templates for free as well. I'll just give it all away. But yeah, you're fine. I mean, right now, I really want you focusing on connections. You know?
This is the thing I did. I signed up for Indeed.
Yeah.
And I went in and started, selecting like what I'm looking for: fitness, group fitness instructor, personal trainer, nutritionist, and everything that I get, I've been saving. And actually, I just made a decision the other day that I think in the beginning I'm going to be a little picky because, let's face it, it's my time to get back to work full time. I want to get a job that I really love. I think I want to start subbing in different places.
Smart.
Get the door in.
Very smart.
See the people, see how it works. If I like it, I just don't want to get hired and then I'm not happy.
That's it. Hey, here's what you're doing there. That's great advice for everybody else listening. She's going to test out different types of work in that field and different environments, and that's going to allow your heart to go ding, ding, ding. We've got a winner. Hey, thank you so much, Maria. Thank you for the call.
According to Glassdoor, the average job offer attracts over 250 applicants. If you've made it to the interview, you've already made a great impression. So now is the time to showcase how you are the best choice for the role. That's why we created How to Win the Interview. This free guide will walk you through the 5 strategies to help you stand out amongst the competition. With just some intentionality, you can prepare yourself to win the interview. Go to kencoleman.com/interview.
Welcome back to the Ken Coleman Show. If you enjoy the show and you're watching on YouTube, we'd love for you to subscribe to the channel. And if you're listening via the podcast, give us a review and share. You are, in fact, my number one marketing strategy, and that is word of mouth. So I would be grateful if you would do that. We want to help as many people as possible. I just realized that I'm wearing my vest. It did not even occur to me. I walked into the studio with the vest on. It was a little chilly here in the hallways of Ramsey Solutions today. I think Dave's trying to save a buck or two, and he's cut the old thermostat down. And so I'm sitting at my desk today. It was a little chilly. So I put the vest on, and, I'm a one-track mind, folks. As in about the 20 minutes before the show, I am, like, in full-on prep mode, like, laser-focused, and didn't even notice until now. I was like, oh, I left the vest on today. So it looks like I'm going to go out and get my Christmas pick as soon as the show's over. That's not the case. I just forgot. But I kind of like it. I feel very comfy. It's kind of like a half Snuggie, but my arms are free. All right, let's go to Alex, who joins us in the Big Apple, New York, New York. Alex, you're on the Ken Coleman. Uh-oh, wrong one. Sorry, guys. That'd be line 2. Alex, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Thank you so much, Mr. Coleman, for taking my call. I really do appreciate it. And it's a little chilly over here, too, as well.
Hey, I'll be there Thursday, so if you could order some warm weather, that'd be nice.
I'll do my best. So right now, I'm trying to transition careers. That's really where I am right now. I work as a school teacher, but it's become very clear to me that this is not the job that I want to continue. My ultimate goal was to become a professor, but I have $42,000 in student loans, and so I thought I could be a high school teacher for the time being, pay off the loan in 2 years, and then go back to grad school for that. Mm-hmm. But this is more challenging than I anticipated.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to find something where I can switch careers quickly, so I can have something that's more my speed for that kind of intermediate sort of time. And that's what I need.
Oh, I love this. Very good. Very mature. I love that you're going, I need a good day job, Ken, that doesn't suck the life out of me, so that I can pay off this debt and then go get the advanced degree to become a professor. So good on you. Well, I think some of the clues. So there's 2 types of clues we need to look at, because you're calling me for ideas, right? We're effectively brainstorming.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at the clues and the negative. All right. So what is negative about teaching high school? Why is that? What about that is making you go, I don't want to do this?
I really love my subject, geology and earth science, but most of the time I'm spending on discipline issues or classroom management or just social emotional problems with the children. I knew that was going to be there, but to be honest, I did not understand to the degree to which. Also, it's a little bit difficult because sometimes I can't even get to the actual content because I have to review basic science concepts that the kids don't know or they know kind of vaguely or vicariously.
Yeah.
And so that's
All right. And then what are the positives that you look forward to in being a college professor?
I look forward to doing research that matters, that gets published, that actually help people. I look forward to hopefully being able to talk with other students who really are focused on the craft and who want to help make discoveries. And not only that, but helping to train like the next generation of scientists, because that's in a sense what professors do.
Yep.
And so that's what I'm looking forward to, and also being able to kind of make, I don't want to say innovations, that's not the correct word, but leading to people towards a better understanding of like giving people clear information to make better decisions for humanity. That's my idea. I want to be a hydrogeology professor, so it's like water resources, stuff like that, and that will help me to, that helps in that aim.
Okay. So I'm just looking for some clues to brainstorm. Okay. And so an ideal day job does not have to be the dream job. And remember, the dream job, for everybody listening, I define the dream job as not some unicorn.
Okay.
Crazy pie in the sky. It's just I spend most of my day using what I do best to do work I love to produce results that matter to me. Does that make sense, Alex?
Yeah.
You're a smart guy.
It does.
If you tell me that makes good sense, it's going to make me feel good about myself.
It does.
I mean, does it really?
Yes.
It does.
We're just looking,
but you know, when most people hear dream job and they think some faraway thing that's a pie in the sky, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not attainable. Like me being a point guard in the NBA.
Exactly.
That's not a dream job. That's like fantasy land.
Okay.
It's not. There's no chance of that being possible. So how could it be a dream?
Mm-hmm.
You get my point?
Yes.
All right. I just had to make that very clear. Now, you love researching. You love advising, guiding, instructing, training.
Yep.
Let's look for a day job that has a lot of that in the job description. Because you've got a degree, and you can tell people where you're going and what you're doing and why you're doing it, and you love research. So where you're researching, analyzing that research, and somehow communicating to instruct or communicating to train or communicating to advise based on that research, I think that would give you a pretty good level of enjoyment, even though it's not the dream job, but it would be enjoyable. And I think some valuable experience along the way. And that's what we're trying to get right now is more money and it not be miserable. That's really all we're looking for.
That is absolutely correct.
So,
synopsis of it.
Coming up with ideas, I'm looking for things that involve research and some of that analytical and communicative piece, but it doesn't have to be a research job. I'm just saying that's where I'd start.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But right now you're making how much?
68.
Yeah. So what are we qualified for, or what could someone train me on the job for where I can make 75, 80, 85? That's where my mindset's going. But I'm looking at jobs that are out there and I'm going, something that would be great would be what I described to you moments ago. Something that would be good would be something where you're communicating because you are a good communicator. You're effective at communicating, right? You've been trained to be a communicator.
Exactly.
All right. So, that to me, as long as I'm able to communicate and I know that people are going to listen to what I say, we're off to a good start. Yeah?
Yeah, it is.
So this is what we're looking at. It's less about brainstorming. It's more about going, okay, if it's a job that has a lot of communication or a decent amount of research and some of that involved, then that's something that's going to be really enjoyable for me. Okay? So you could do a sales job for 2 or 3 years. Why? Because you're a good communicator. And you may not love sales, but you could be good at it. And if it's a product or resource or a service that you personally connect to, again, you take that mentality of I communicate to instruct, I communicate to train, I communicate to advise. So I would be looking at everything from sales to, because all we're trying to do is get as much money in the door as quickly as possible and not be bored out of our skull or miserable like you are now.
It's funny you should say sales, because I was looking through, like, there's a circular that comes in my mailbox of, like, the community college and the job trainings they have. And there's one that's starting up in January regarding real estate. And I was wondering if I could do that, because the way I conceptualize real estate, it's kind of a sales job, if I have that correct.
Yeah.
I thought maybe I could somewhat do that for a little bit. I know it's more of a commission thing, which I'll be honest, a little bit scary for me, but I think I could do that and get people into some good houses that fit them, and then do that for a brief time, then go back to research. I was
just pay
wondering
attention.
if that was...
Yeah, pay attention to the market. Talk to some realtors that are right now. I mean, do some research. That's what you're good at. Research this thing.
Okay.
And, is it the right time to get into that? But yes, all things being equal, forget the market right now. Yeah, you can sell because you know how to communicate. You know how to advise someone, And so anybody with your talent can do well in sales or, some type of a leadership communications role. Do you know what I mean? Because you know how to communicate. You know how to break things down, take the complex and simplify it. Anybody that's in the world you're in, if you're trying to teach me about geology, hello. You want to talk about taking the complex and simplifying. I mean, I don't know jack. All right? So if you could teach me the basics of geology, then you can lead anybody because you know how to communicate and care for people. So let's not overthink it. Let's look for that kind of stuff we talked about in the job description. I think those will be good places for you. Love, love, love your mindset, and I know you're going to do great things. Hey, folks, remember, you matter. You have what it takes. Press on.
Thanks for listening to The Ken Coleman Show. For more, you can find the show on demand wherever you listen to podcasts and watch the show on YouTube. You can also find Ken across all social media by following @Ken Coleman.